What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Cornelia, back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Loads of updates this week, y'all. And first, we talked about the debate. Your boy got cooked. We talked about the debate. Last week, I recorded this episode before the debate aired. Before it even aired, I recorded it. The debate aired the next day. This is the next opportunity that I have on Black News Podcast to talk about it. And the boy got cooked. Y'all red hat little friend got cooked. And let me say this again. I hate the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris has to be up on stage with that man. But it also reminds me, and not everyone has this experience, and not everyone has this experience on a daily basis. But if you work in corporate America and you have been at, like, I would say even at larger organizations, this is something that you see, especially when you get to certain industries where it's super, super boys club. There are a lot of instances where you'll see women, Black women, non-Black women ascend and rise up the corporate ladder, but then have to occupy spaces with men who aren't as or don't appear to be as qualified. You see it often. You see when you see these women and you know them, you see how smart they are, how courageous and how savvy and just how on point they have to be for their duration of their entire career. And then you'll see them next to somebody or see one of their direct colleagues and you're like, how the hell he get the job? Like, hey, I've worked in an industry where I've seen it. So it is, especially every time a woman get to the top. I won't even say every time. I take that back. A lot of times people associate or assume that for a woman to achieve and to get to a high level, she had to have slept her way to the top. Child, who do we got to sleep with to get to the said top? Okay, who you got to do? You got to do it to who to get to the top? That doesn't make any sense. But the debate went over a lot better than I thought it would because, and I'm not saying this on the side of VP Kamala Harris, I'm saying this on the side of Mr. Red Hat. I thought that he was going to be even more unhinged than he was. And I attribute that to her knowing how to handle him. Because again, when you in these settings, you learn how to handle these people. So I feel like if it were anybody else on stage with him, it would have been crazier because they didn't know how to bait him. She was giving the classic bait and switch. She was dropping the nuggets, crowd size. You got fired by 81 million people. All of these things. You erased. She dropped everything on him and he took the bait like we all assume. So all in all, I've been watching the debates for many years. That is one of my favorite debate performances, by VP Kamala Harris. My other favorite debate performance, is gonna be when Joe Biden was debating. What was the guys when him and Barack ran the first time? What was his name? The young dude. I think it was the '08 debate when Joe Biden was running for vice. Child, he was smacking up old boy. I forget his name, but that was one of my debate favorite ones because Joe was peak Joe. He was funny. He was relatable. He knew his stuff. He was throwing out words like malarkey. My other favorite debate performance was that same year when President Obama debated the second one where he asked, I believe it was Mitt Romney, what does he assume that people are fighting with? Muskets and bayonets. That was another one. So again, I'm proud of VP Kamala Harris. Do I think this turns the tide? No. Again, I think there are no undecided voters. Let me say this one more time. I do not believe that. I do not believe there are any undecided voters. I think that people who are still saying they're undecided are people who want attention or they want you to believe that their level of thinking is more elite than everyone else, to the fact that they have to have these thought out, these drawn out processes to decide which candidate is the best and relate back their values with the candidate's core values. And they want you to know that they're being very thoughtful, when in actuality, they just want you to think they smart because they need attention. I don't think anybody's undecided. I think you have people who are completely disengaged from voting, because you got some people who literally be out the loop. And I feel like you have new voters, new potential voters, Gen Z. That's it. But I do think what it did was it solidified her place on that stage to say she is the real freaking deal, and y'all got to live with it, get on board or get left behind. So kudos to Vice President Kamala Harris. Next, Tim Walz will be debating JD Vance in October. I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out, because JD Vance be lying, and Tim Walz, I feel like he gonna get frustrated and he gonna cuss out JD Vance. So I'm anxious to see that one. I'm gonna be locked in like I was before. But let me know your thoughts about it. Did you check out debate, and was it what you expected? Hit me up. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. Another update, and child, I guess you making call this breaking news. This literally just hit the internet while I was logging into my computer and setting my microphone up. Breaking news. Diddy has been taken into federal custody in connection with alleged sex trafficking investigation. Per his attorney, he said, "We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office." Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years of building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community. Reports state that it appears that the action was taken in connection to the ongoing criminal investigation into alleged sex trafficking, like I said. And it is reported that he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of the charges. He did, he's in New York. Child, whew, whew. This is also coming on the heels of Dawn Richard, who is and was a member of Danity Kane, filed a lawsuit or filed a case, a civil suit. I don't know if I believe it's civil. Regardless, she filed a suit against Diddy claiming sexual abuse or harassment. You know, and she was said she was held against her will at some point. She said she claimed that she witnessed Puff. Her and some other celebrities mentioned him, witnessed him beating up on Cassie on numerous occasions. She allegedly saw Kim Porter being assaulted. She also is claiming that he did not pay her millions of dollars for written songs, for performances, appearances, and things while she was with Diddy Dirty Money and also Danity Kane. Child. Woo child. I don't think I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting Dawn. Do I think, and I'm allegedly. Y'all ain't about to, hey, I'm just reading the paper. Okay. I was, I feel like a lot of people observed some of the things that were allegedly happening, but I don't think I thought that certain people would speak out. And I say that because, as a person in this business who does not have power, and as a woman in this business who does not have power, and this is me being also speaking from the perspective of a stand up comedian and seeing and hearing things as a woman in a business of entertainment who does not have power, it is not oftentimes in the best interest of women to speak out, because we in turn are punished and sometimes blacklisted for speaking out and telling the truth. women in entertainment. That's why when people with the Me Too movement, and anytime even people did this with Cassie or whoever, people always say things like, why you didn't say nothing, and why you wait this whole time, and who you saw all this happen and you didn't step in and you didn't do this. Literally, you people literally have no power, and it is very hard to speak up when you will be risking your livelihood, because a lot of entertainers, they can't get jobs. If you've been singing, dancing, doing comedy, performing, acting, all improvisation for your whole life, maybe since high school, before that, you don't know how to do anything else. Luckily for me, I always get me a job because I'm going to keep me a gig. Okay. But for some people, they can't just risk being no longer being able to work because they spoke out against someone who is powerful, or maybe they spoke out but someone else who is adjacent feels some type of way and decided to blacklist them or make a phone call and say don't hire this person. So I personally, one, I'm proud of Dawn for speaking up about her experiences. Again, allegedly, we don't know what's true or not. I have to say that because, again, I ain't about to Tasha K me, okay? But I'm also surprised because, again, I was not expecting that. I'm also now wondering what's next and who's left to speak up. And we have never seen. I said, like the one with the PP man, that situation was different because we were literally given footage and saw firsthand of inappropriate behavior on tape in 2003, 2004. From that moment to the time that there were charges filed, people had an idea. Some people were in denial, and some people just legitimately didn't care. We also knew that there was a marriage between that man who was at the time about 26 years old and a 14, 15-year-old R&B singer, allegedly. But it was on paper they were married. So I feel like that is different from this because while we saw that one instance of video footage at the hotel of some physical abuse and some physical violence, we haven't seen anything else. And I'm not speaking for myself when I see this because I believe women. Some people act like something ain't happened if if they wasn't right there in person to witness it. So I don't know what is going to happen or what to expect. This one of them situations, child, we just going to have to let it play out and let people do what the law going to do. Because this crazy. This is crazy. Allegedly. Hey, man, I'm just a girl. But I pray for people involved. If people are harmed, if you are in an abusive situation, it's easier to said and done to be like, y'all get out. And it's hard, especially in this entertainment industry. I'm telling you, y'all, it is. People really be getting blacklisted and punished. People, and it ain't like, I know people hear that and they're not in entertainment. They think of like on some movie shit, like she got blacklisted. They made the call to the top dog. No, sometimes it's just simple as just don't book that person on the show. And that could be the only show in your area for you to get on. So now you literally can't get on those shows. But also, let me say this. Some people get, some promoters, bookers, whoever, they'll blacklist you and you ain't even did shit. So, hey, it could go either way. All in all, what do you all think about what's happening and what do you think is coming next? Because personally, like I said, I have no clue. Hit me up and let me know your thoughts. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. And unexpected social media news or just internet happenings, Shannon Sharp got, I don't even say caught, but he went on Instagram Live by mistake, allegedly, while he was doing it to some woman named Michelle. Now, let me say this. This is a PG-13 podcast. Okay. I may say a curse word every now and then, but I don't say curse words enough to talk or talk about like sexual content enough for this to be rated R. Okay. This is a PG 13. I've been trying to keep it PG. Okay. And I had to keep that in mind because I was going to play the audio, not the full audio. I was going to play some of the audio, but I got to keep it real. Okay. I was too bashful trying to getting ready to play the audio, child. And if I play that audio, this gonna turn into an OnlyFans. Okay, this gonna become OnlyFans audio, and we're not monetizing in that way. Okay, y'all might be in the car listening to this while y'all picking up y'all kids from school, and then I'm gonna bust out with the Shannon Sharp audio. Can't do it. Okay, won't do it to the young listeners. I got people on here that they got kids. The children can't listen. They can't. Close your ears. But to recap, now this was according to Shannon Sharp. Somehow he was at home with a woman. They were having a good time between the sheets. Well, it sounded like they weren't even on the cover child. It sounded like they was just on top of the bed. Okay. They was on top of the comforter. And all of a sudden he went live. Now, Shannon Sharp don't be going live. He said this. He said they don't go live. He doesn't go live. So he is unsure about what happened or how it went live. But I believe the audio was around 5 some minutes of him going. I'm talking about the brother was growling. He was talking. You know, he got that accent and it sounded like he got a lisp too. So it was like, you could tell it was country. And then the woman was, like, you know how they be doing. Okay. It was giving that. Okay. I'm not going to play the audio. I kind of want to, but I'm not going to play it. Even just a snippet. I kind of want to play a snippet. So people were like, what the heck? Now, y'all know you can't do nothing on the internet without people recording or screenshotting what you do on the internet. FYI, if you don't be on the internet, whatever you do, somebody gonna capture it. So immediately when he went live, y'all, somebody pulled that, slid that top down on that iPhone, hit that screen record button, and let it ride. So once the live went off, and I didn't catch if the live went off or he found out it was on live and was like, oh shoot, cut it off. As soon as that happened, child, it hit the streets. The audio was pouring onto social media. People then immediately started going into his followers list to see who Michelle is. Who is Michelle? Okay. They found some lady. Apparently it wasn't her because then she responded back and put on her Instagram, I am not Michelle. People still don't know who Michelle is, but they were trying to find Michelle. Then Shannon Sharp said he got hacked. Oops, my bad. Y'all got hacked. Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Okay. So people were then questioning what was actually happening. And a couple conversations started to happen. One conversation. Apparently, and I don't be going live. I've been used to go live back in the day, especially during the pandemic when everybody else was going live. But some people started to say, that's really interesting because to go live is not just a click of a button. You have to click 4 or 5 different things in order to go live. So the idea of you coming in the house, you hide and bother, you toss your phone on the bed and it automatically goes live is unrealistic because of the number of steps that you have to take to do that. Some other people started to chime in and saying that's not true because my auntie accidentally went live and she really don't be on social media, so it is possible. Now, I did not test it out, but while I'm on the phone with y'all, I am going to go into Instagram. I am going to hit my plus button. I'm going to go to my profile, hit the top, the ad. If you go in, you can scroll down to live. You then add the title and you hit play. So you do have quite a few steps before you go live. Then another aspect of the conversation started to happen simultaneously when Shannon Sharp told the truth. He said, I'm so sorry. That was me. I apologize, people. I'm disappointing. Blah, blah, blah. People were anxiously awaiting him and Chad Ochocinco's podcast that they do called Late Night or something like that because people want to hear Shannon Sharp talk about this. The brother was on there growling. Okay. He was growling. But when that was happening, some people were challenging or starting a conversation about masculinity. Meaning, some people assumed, and there has been this rumor, and I'm not spreading this rumor, I'm just telling y'all what people say. I don't know if I believe it or not. I really don't care. Okay. I don't really care about that. But people were saying that they think that Shannon Sharpe likes men. And again, I'm just telling y'all so I can get to the point. I'm mentioning this so I can get to the point. They were saying that because of the patriarchy and toxic masculinity, that the world and society forces men to constantly have to prove their masculinity to others, which in turns causes even older men, not even young men, older men, to have to pull stunts or to go on Instagram Live having sex and to show people that you get women and do all of these things in order to uphold the idea of patriarchy and toxic masculinity, or for the gays and to impress other men. Which is, listen, I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, but that is a very valid argument overall. Because I was watching some other videos today, and people were talking about, masculinity and things, and people were saying, that statement where men say sometimes, women are emasculating me. There was a conversation or a thought spark to say, how is that the case, or is that the case when men put on masculinity, or they are trying to out masculine other men? They're doing this for the gaze and for the approval of other men. Whether that is true or not, it was an interesting conversation. And it is interesting as you look at it in regards to this situation with Shannon Sharpe, because are older men feeling like at age 50, 60, 70, and until the infinity, that they have to put on or still impress other men? Or are men still, especially in 2024, still uncomfortable with the idea of being viewed as a gay man, to the point where they have to do stunts in order to show the world that they are not? Again, I don't know the answer to that, but that was an interesting conversation. All in all, Shannon Sharpe got on live and was talking about it. There was jokes, people have been laughing and whatnot, but it happened, and I hope it don't happen again. Okay. Did y'all hear the audio, and what did y'all think? Okay. Do you think it was an accident? Do you think it's a possibility that happened on purpose? Again, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I know, listen, I do not want to ever end up myself on Instagram Live between the sheets. Okay. This ain't the Isley Brothers. Okay. We ain't between the sheets. But hey, it ain't me, it's Uncle Shannon. So let me know your thoughts about this. You can hit me up on social media at Cornelia. On this week's episode of Black News, we discussed a debate update. That was the one between Vice President Kamala Harris and Mr. Red Hat. We also gave an update what's happening with Diddy. He has been taken into custody in New York State. And we talked about Shannon Sharpe accidentally, air quotes, going live on Instagram while he was doing the do. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none. And I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Cornelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is cornelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.